Welcome to the Church of the Week program on AM 630, The Word. Each week, we highlight a different local church or ministry impacting our community. Now let's welcome our Church of the Week host, Chad Shapiro, and today's guest.
Hey everybody, my name is Chad Shapiro. We want to welcome you to the Church of the Week. In this case, we're dealing with the Ministry of the Week, and it's a program that is featured on AM 630, The Word. You can also find us on KSLR.com. It is sponsored by Let Us Unite, which is a big event that is coming Memorial Day weekend 2025. But I am honored to be here with Dr. DarrellHorne from the San Antonio Baptist Association and David Garcia. I get the blessing of partnering with these guys very often. I lead Pastor Strong Initiative, which is to help pastors, holistic health, and also the area rep for Texas Baptist in this area. So we get to work together quite a bit. And Dr. Horne, I want to thank you so much. I was telling the producers here that I used to do the show back in the day for my church that was actually planted out of the San Antonio Baptist Association. Could never have done it without you, and would be on the air quite a bit. And you built that beautiful studio in there, and seeing shows like this maybe had you think maybe of me able to come help. And then God has been so good to let me learn underneath you, and I'm still learning to this day. So I thank you for that. We're going to have some good time to talk today about a lot of things going on, but maybe talk a little bit about what is the San Antonio Baptist Association. Maybe if there's some people that are listening or learning about it for the very first time, like what is it? What is its purpose? Where did it come from?
The very first Baptist Association was created in 1707 in Philadelphia, and it was created for churches to work together to help each other. And, you know, when they don't have a minister, they have an association that can help them. We're over 300 years later. Baptist associations are still around, still thriving. There's over 100 in Texas.
Wow.
San Antonio being one of the larger ones. We're very thankful that we get to help churches because it is the local church that God has called to propagate the gospel. We get to come alongside and help. San Antonio Baptist Association was created, I believe, in November, but the year was 1858. That's a long time ago, 167 years. We are distinctly Texan. We're distinctly San Antonian. We grew up with the city, so to speak, 167 years. I always remind everybody, I wasn't the first director. I've only been here 10 years. Yeah. Some people ask me because I have gray hair. But we exist to connect, encourage, and support churches. And we do that for kingdom impact. It's not about building our own kingdom. It's about building God's kingdom, connecting churches, supporting churches, encouraging pastors, encouraging churches. That's why we have existed all this time. There have been a lot of directors, a lot of churches planted like yours. You actually spent time on our staff with us. Amen. It was a good time. We see God doing some new things, some great things. 2025 is going to be a great year. It already is, but it's going to be a great year.
I'm so excited about this year and everything that's happening out of the San Antonio Baptist Association. A lot of people are called to go make disciples. Some are called to pastor churches, but without an association, what are some of the things that the association helps do for our local churches? Like why would what's its purpose for that? And maybe somebody that I know you've also connected with like-minded churches that maybe weren't Baptist in nature, but non-denominational, or but just looking for an association. And maybe you can speak to that too.
We help churches with almost anything that they need help with. Sometimes we connect them with somebody that has an expertise in a particular area. For example, yesterday I was out of the office. I was in a couple hours south of here helping a church. They don't have a director in their association. I was helping that church who's looking for a new pastor. And so we help churches do that. We do. We have a media a guy in our office who does a great job. You mentioned studio earlier. We do video recording. We look at what the market value is, and then we take 1/3 of that. We have to pay subscriptions for different types of digital programs, and so we have to cover some of the bases. But pretty much, we give everything for free. When you look at the price that we charge, we also have a kingdom expansion team or a focus. We have a connection in India, in Peru, and other places. Sometimes we've raised money for $3 a Bible to buy a Telugu Bible for India, and we've sent teams over there. But then also, what David's connected with is leader development plus church starting and church renewal. We found that not only do we need to start new churches, but we need to renew some of the churches that we have. Many of the churches that feel like they're doing well, that's the time you need to start looking at the next curve or the next phase of what's happening while things are going well. So we do church starting, church renewal, and we do leader development. We have a number of things in our association that we do for development. David's focus on our staff is spiritual formation. That is a vital thing for all of us leaders, because we need to be formed spiritually into maturity. Yeah. Romans 8 says that God is, the Holy Spirit is working to conform us into the image of Christ. But David works on our staff doing, he'll talk about Kairos, which is a theological education that we provide. We're a campus. It's an accredited opportunity for theology. And then we do church starting and church renewal in cohorts, and that's part of David's responsibility also.
Maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, a lot of responsibility.
Thank you for being here. David is a pastor in our city as well as a great friend of mine too, so I'm excited to be here with you both. And maybe you could talk a little bit about what you're doing there.
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, spiritual formation, right? It can mean a lot of things. Yeah. And so I would say at Sabbath right now, we have a united heart of moving through the next few years in particular of handling spiritual formation and multiplication of God-called leaders and pastors. So it's not just for pastors. It's also for those who are called to lead within the church and reach people with the gospel at the same time. The word that sits on my heart quite often in my focus is longevity. And so when I think about the guys that I'm helping to pour into, lead, and all that, longevity is important to me. The first thing is obviously having them spiritually healthy, making sure that they're cared for, loved on, soaking in the presence of Jesus as much as possible, and that they have the support system that they need, which is a lot of Pastor Strong and our coffees that we offer and things like that. Just getting them surrounded so that they're not walking through ministry alone. I think the second step to that would definitely be equipping them. And so making sure that they're resourced the way that they need to be resourced. Obviously, we can all do things different ways, right? If I grab 3 different guys and go, God wants you to dig a hole, you need to do it with your hands. Here's a pick for you, and you, I'm gonna get a water hose and a shovel to, right? The last one's gonna be a lot easier than the first one.
Right. Yeah. Good.
So the more equipped we are, sometimes the easier it makes the job that we have to do. And so a part of that for me is making sure that we get our church starting and renewal classes filled up with guys that are looking to go into ministry. And I will say this, I know sometimes when you hear church starting renewal, you probably think, oh, well, I need to be planting a church to be able to do a class like this. But I just came out of a season where I went through it myself, the full 12 weeks, loved every part of it. And I am in the process of revitalizing a church. Yeah. And so I came into a church that was already established, had a long history, but a lot of stuff needed to be reshaped, and kind of the vision, the mission, the values, all of the stuff that helps you create the structures and the boundaries that you want to do healthy ministry. And so it was a huge blessing for me being able to bring those guardrails in and help my staff understand the heart behind stuff. I would say that's probably the hugest value add to our church starting a renewal class is that every single competency that we go through starts off with the spiritual foundation of how to approach it biblically from the heart of God.
Amen.
And that right there is going to give you the amount of help that you need to move forward, even if you don't catch everything within the time that you're sitting in class.
Yeah.
Right?
You mentioned competencies. There are 12 core competencies in the material. You've taught the material.
I love it.
You went through it yourself. 12 great core competencies that guide the training. It would be good for anybody. Anybody that's even not in leadership in a church, but just to understand what church is about, what the purpose of the church is, what leaders go through. Sometimes people don't understand what the pastor or the different leaders go through. But the good thing, David, having gone through it, is now leading it. And another good thing about it is it's in cohorts, but you get to start with some guys, you develop friendships, you go the 6 months, basically, the 12 core competencies. And so I know David's looking for new guys to go through it.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, contact David. We would love to talk with you about that.
And if I could, I know many of you guys may be thinking, I'm not sure if this is for me or not. I don't know if I'm called to pastor a church, but like Dr. Horne said, you could use this information in a lot of different ways. And so just come contact them, go set up an interview, go through some of the steps that it may take to join a cohort. We've had people from other denominations that knew how great the training was that said, let me come on board. It's an association of churches that and they came in not planning to pastor. And then after a few months, God started dealing with them and showing them new things. And all of a sudden they felt much more ready to step into that calling. So very excited about that. Again, I want to thank the AM 630, The Word. You can find us on KSLR.com. We are the Church of the Week, and today we're dealing with an incredible association of hundreds of churches here in San Antonio. And this program is sponsored by Let Us Unite, which is a big event that's coming Memorial Day weekend 2025. So definitely learn more about that. But we're excited about these cohorts and then also the school to continue to teach people that is also at the association as well. Maybe you could talk about that.
Yeah, so Kairos University is huge. I'll be honest, because I've been searching for a seminary myself for quite some time, even signed up for one along the way, and then got busy with family and stuff. When I first heard about it, I was a little bit skeptical because I was like, all right, here's another one. What is this, right? But then as I got to know the president of the university and really understand what this is, I became really excited about it and actually enrolled to be a student myself. And so I'm going to be in the early classes also. But Kairos University is a combination of 8 major. It starts off with 8 major seminaries that are put together to create a competency-based theological education for you. And here's what that means. It means that rather than be graded and assessed on reading a book, understanding it, writing a paper, and having somebody look at it and say you understood it, which isn't a bad thing, right? That's our traditional education. This is more for the application, practical use, right? And so every pastor, every leader that takes this is going to get the opportunity to have 3 mentors walking with them. One will be your educational mentor, which is your professor. And then you have a life and spiritual mentor, and you also have a ministry mentor. And the way that you get graded is you do write some papers, right? But they also want to see that you can put these things into practice within your ministry environment and have it be relevant and practical for your use every day. And when they think you're ready, the 3 of them will assess you and grade you on that, and you get to move on to the next core competency. One of the exciting things that they offer is number one, that it's got the highest accreditation in North America that you can get. So you you don't have to worry about that. There's a lot of programs out there that don't offer accreditation, and so only so many people will take them and accept them, and they have different viewpoints. This comes with the highest one. The president of Kairos himself has a lot of great relationships with people from DTS and Southwestern, just a lot of great universities and seminaries. As you move forward through the program, one of the amazing things about it is that one of the phrases that they use is everything counts, but nothing transfers, or nothing transfers, everything counts. And the reason for that is because when you go by the criteria that they set up for credits transferring and different things to universities, a lot of the times they'll only accept a certain amount. In fact, I've got a doctoral student coming in who is transferring over to Kairos, and he was going to go to I don't want to throw people out there, but he was going to a major named seminary that a lot of people want to go to, and they were only going to take, I think it was 15 of his 34 credits. And so he came and talked to me, and he said, how does this work? And as we're looking at everything, they're taking everything he did and aligning it with all of the core competencies and making sure that everything transfers, that everything moves over and is taken into account. And then also all of our ministry history, right? And so if you're coming in as a pastor or even somebody who's just been in the church doing ministry for a long time, everything you've ever done within the church is going to count for something also. That relevant experience will also be assessed and moved into those core competencies as well. And
because it is competency-based.
It is.
You get to count all that.
Yes. Yeah, you get to count all that, which is amazing. And so, that being said, I know sometimes when you're talking about this stuff like this, one of the things that the president of Kairos was very sure to say to me when I met with him in person, he said, this is not an easier or faster way to do seminary. You can get a little bit of a jump start, because when you come in with the assessments, because nothing transfers but everything counts, including your ministry history, you can get a cool little jump start. But after that, I would say sometimes it's even a little more challenging than traditional education, because you have to be a little bit of a self-starter. And
you have to really be a self-starter, because it's your pace is based upon your work and your family life and ministry, and you might study late at night when everybody's asleep, but you have to be a self-starter to get through.
Yeah,
but,
you definitely
but that's the good thing, I think, because it's flexible. It meets your schedule. You can do it when you can do it. They do meet in person in a cohort, but there is work that's done outside of class. Once again, it's a cohort-based, competency-based.
Yeah.
It's monthly payment.
That's one of the beautiful parts about it, right? And we all know, any of us who have done some education or have yet to do it, we know how much it costs. And all the way, the price doesn't change for this until you get to your PhD, if you choose to go that direction. But all the way through a doctorate of ministry, it's $300 a month, so you're looking at $3,600 a year.
Not bad.
That's really good for a legitimate degree. A legitimate degree.
It really is. It really is. It's an amazing.
Like we've mentioned, there are some real key things that we as an association thought would be good if we become a campus and open this up for our own guys who can't go to a traditional theological school. Like, I moved my family. I had 5 kids, moved my family, looked for another church. I mean, we arrived with very little money in the bank and didn't have jobs, and God provided. But this, you don't have to transplant yourself. You get to stay put. It's flexible. It's a great value. There's not much like it.
There's not. That was the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the lead pastor of a part-time, full-time lead pastor of a church, right?
Yeah.
I also work for the San Antonio Baptist Association. I have 4 kids that are.
And you don't have any nothing to do.
17, 16, 5, and 2 are my kids' ages, right? Yeah. And then obviously, I'm married, and so your heart, your resources, your time, your money, they all go into those arenas, and you have to find space to actually continue to learn and grow and equip yourself for, like I said, my word is longevity. And so it's, it can be a challenge to do that. So this is very flexible, very affordable. And flexibility wise, one of the great things about it also is that when you get into a cohort and you start learning, the first thing that you do is you kind of learn, the media side of things that you're going to be using. And as you do that, the professor lets the students, because it's a cohort, kind of set their times when they're going to meet together, which is a big one as well.
You don't get to do that in traditional education.
You don't.
They give you a syllabus and tell you when to show up.
Yeah, so this is hybrid, and you get to choose your schedule as a team when you get together and understand we're going to be learning together. So for some of us, it could be nights if that works better for that team, and for some of us, it could be days. It just depends.
I know we've had a number of discussions about when to get started. Tell everybody when you think the first cohort might start.
Right now, the projected date is a mid to late March start for the first cohort, for sure for our doctoral students, and we are hoping for our MA, BA, BA-MA combo. So, and just so everybody out there knows, those are the three that we offer right now. Our partnership is through the International Leadership Consortium, ILC, and they have a direct partnership with Kairos University. And so this is two partnerships working together to offer just a very affordable, flexible education for people. And we're going to be getting that going in March. And
so how would somebody learn? How would they find out more about that? They go to the website as well?
Same thing, man. Our website has been well set up by Eric, so thank you, Eric. But yeah, we just go to the website. If you want to go to events, you can do that, and you'll learn more about
sabatx.org.
Yep, sabatx.org.
sabatx.org.
We don't want to miss the opportunity to mention that we have a Spanish campus, Spanish only. It's called Lacey Seminary.
Yeah.
It offers a diploma, an associate's, and a bachelor's degree. It's accredited through a seminary out of Oaxaca, Mexico. It has the the State Department of Mexico offers accreditation for this program. Contact us about that. It's Spanish only. It's even more affordable than Kairos.
Wow,
and
that's so great.
We have probably 30 to 40 students currently going through it.
Yeah, so if you go there, you'll be able to find it. We offer like I said, BA-MA combo, Doctorate of Ministry, and then a PhD.
All kinds of stuff going on there, you guys. And I really recommend to come show up. We do coffee in there, prayer. We call them Pastoron Connect groups. You don't have to be a senior pastor. You're welcome to come every Thursday morning at 9 a.m., as well as the Pastoron Lunch, which is there every first Thursday at 11:30. That's for men only. Women have their own things going on, but that's for the men that are welcome to come. And when you come inside the building and you connect with these guys and you start to see how they can be a blessing to your ministry, I think you'll be so excited about that. So I thank you. There's 400, how many churches are in the association?
Over 400.
Over 400 churches in this area. We're not talking about throughout the state or throughout the world. We're talking about in this area that are all coming together, learning from these incredible leaders. So any last words before we wrap it up?
We just want to say we are here to serve the city. We're here to connect, encourage, and support churches, and that means leaders. Churches have leaders. Churches have programs, they have structure. Anything that we can do, we would love to. Please let us know how we can help you. We are here to serve the church and serve our leaders.
Yeah, and you're invited. The statistics on actually inviting people are really low, and so I'm just putting the invite out there. We would love to know you and everything that you have going on, and figure out how we can support you. We would also be loved to known by you, just so that you can hear our hearts and we can get you connected. So absolutely go on to sabatx.org and drop down events, but you can also go into staff, and there's QR codes there to contact us. You can reach out to me in regards to anything. I would love to connect with you.
Thank you for listening. This has been Ministry of the Week, and we're glad that the San Antonio Baptist Association has been able to participate with us. It's on AM 630, The Word. You can find it also on KSLR.com, the Facebook page, podcast, go on YouTube, all these different things. Sponsored by Let Us Unite, which is a big event that's happening Memorial Day weekend 2025, coming up soon. So we thank you, Let Us Unite, for sponsoring this program. Take care, and God bless you.
Thanks, Chad.
Thanks for joining us this week for Church of the Week. Please visit us online at am630theword.com for more information or to listen to previous Church of the Week programs. If you would like to recommend your church be featured on a future program, please email us at churchoftheweek@kslr.com.
In 1925, 7 local pastors united San Antonio in prayer, and thousands were baptized and came to faith. This Memorial Day weekend, let's commemorate that revival. Join believers across San Antonio on May 24th to 26th at San Pedro Springs Park as we explore our rich faith history, experience celebration, and expect God's presence together. Meet us at San Pedro Springs Park, May 24th to 26th. For more information, visit us at letasunite.com. One city, one church, one mission. Letasunite.com.